Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Burning Truth. We're on episode 9. We do apologise about the delay in service. Normal service has been resumed now though. The bad boy British Wrestling's been ill. He's been recovering, so we've had some delays between uploading and re-recording. So we do apologise.
It's not re-recording. What we're sort of going to try and do is, due to the delay of the last episode, this episode is not going to replace it, but it's going to be part of the upload.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is the voice, yes, you know it, of the bad boy of British Wrestling himself.
Yeah, this week might be a double episode. So we'll either learn them up individually, or we can learn them up at the same time. So we're playing it by ear. We're playing it by ear on that one, off the cuff.
Yeah, so we hope everyone's doing well. It's been a quiet week.
Quiet week for some, hectic week for others.
Yeah, wrestling's not been as overall exciting this week.
Well, in some aspects it has, and others it hasn't. But to be honest with you, it hasn't exactly helped with WWE the way they've been doing things. Right, some of their storylines that they're doing.
However, I think I can say this safely. I am quite excited for Rusev and Cena, and I can't believe I'm saying that.
Why is that?
Just the physicality. Can you remember the last time a main event person went for the US title?
Probably JBL.
Yeah, but this is Mr. WWE going for the US title.
This sort of brings more to the match. The only thing I'm not too much a fan of, okay, the calling Cena old. He's a veteran.
Yeah.
Yes. But he's not old.
No, he's only 30-something.
That's where my argument is with it. Calling him the old veteran. Now, I'm sorry, but he's not old.
No, he isn't old. He's probably in the peak of his wrestling career, if I can use the word peak very loosely. Because people say he's been at a peak for since 11 years, but that man is in the peak of his career.
And doesn't seem to be coming down anytime soon.
No. He isn't slowing, and
it isn't. It's not. And here's the thing. This could either do one or two things with what they're doing with Rusev. This will either completely destroy Rusev as a star,
yeah,
or make him into one.
Yeah, it's brilliant, but Rusev, as long as he doesn't speak that much on the mic, is good, because he's brutal. He isn't afraid of anybody.
Exactly.
He's showing that he is the wall. You know, he is
basically saying, "Come at me."
Yeah, and that's brilliant. I'm actually really looking forward to it.
And the one thing that's good about it is, instead of Cena doing something and then the bad guys reacting, blah blah blah, it's not. Cena's on the back foot. Cena's having to adjust to Rusev. And Rusev is brutalising him, and then Cena has to adjust to become more physical. Also, when was the last time you saw Cena be that physical?
It's been a while. You know, he's normally that physical in hardcore matches, so we don't actually get to see that physical aspect of him if it's in a speciality match.
No.
Because it really brings out the other side of him.
What I mean is, how many people can bring that out when it's not even a speciality match? I mean,
Punk,
Brian.
Sandow did it.
Sandow's, he can work with anybody.
Ziggler. Half the roster, if given the time, could do it.
Yeah, but one person I thought did it well. You could bring out the rage of Cena.
Yeah.
He is a multiple heavyweight champion, multiple tag team. He has the rated R superstar edge. He knew exactly how to get Cena's character so worked up. He sees red.
So it's quite interesting on there. Also, another match that I think's been announced a month too early. I think it should have been saved for WrestleMania.
I believe this would be the Goldust
And Stardust. Goldust deserves a WrestleMania farewell match.
Yeah, he does. However, I don't think this match is going to be clean. I think this match is possibly a draw. Because it's going to be within rules, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it deserves the...
Sending off.
Yeah.
The Hollywood send-off.
Yeah. You know, for someone as accomplished as Goldust, that's never actually had a world title run, but it's always been a cornerstone of the company.
But then again, if you think about it, there are still a few people who have never been the main champ.
Yeah.
But have still been absolutely excellent. Roddy Piper, to name one.
Yeah.
Never been a WWE champion. Don't even think he was WCW champion, was he?
No.
He got a little title and some tag titles.
Who was that we're talking about?
Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper never won it. Steamboat never won the WCW or the WWE.
That they got.
Yeah, but Steamboat was an NWA World Champion, I think.
Yeah, that still counts as a world champion. Still counts.
But yeah, it's interesting. You know, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that could go on in wrestling, and it's just about getting that right
element.
Yeah.
The right element, the right push. You need it. You need it. And I think Rusev and Cena, if I'm honest with you, I thought they would have saved this for WrestleMania.
Yeah. However, I can understand why they're not saving it for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Because
it needs to build.
Yeah, they need to build it. You know, instead of just going, oh, let's just throw it onto the barbecue and watch it fry.
Sizzle and rise.
Let's just literally turn the heat down a little bit and slowly rise the temperature. As they say, a bit of a slow burner.
Yeah, and it's going to be brilliant come WrestleMania. However, who walks away at WrestleMania the winner?
Ooh.
Do you have Rusev walk away with the WrestleMania moments and an undefeated streak, or do you have John Cena
break
the streak?
But will Cena break the streak at Fastlane?
No.
You don't think he will?
Why would you throw it away on a pay-per-view before WrestleMania?
Good point. Good point. And also, who says it could be Cena going for it? Could be Ryback.
It's Cena. It's practically booked.
It's practically booked.
It's practically booked.
Well, they've got a few other matches being prepared.
Well, I think that it'll be done by some outside interference, and then you might see Hulk Hogan come down waving a little bit of red, white and blue in the state of Hulkamania to just give John Cena that little bit of hustle, loyalty and respect to overcome the odds.
You mean basically sort of make it look like Hogan's passing on the whole gimmick, even though Cena's already taken the gimmick?
But I think Ryback will win at Fastlane. Cena will get demoralised, and Hogan will take it upon himself to
bring him back.
Yeah, you know.
If I'm honest with you, if Rusev gets one up on Cena, everyone's going to think, whoa.
No, if Rusev wins up at the next one, overcome the odds and battle adversity, beat puberty again for the 5,000th time, and rise above the 6,001 Russians.
Rise above hate.
Yeah. So it'll be an interesting one. Rusev deserves a push, but if he gets it, we will see. But Rusev's the closest thing they've got at the moment to a main event second heel behind Rollins.
Who seems to be on a bit of a good streak.
Yeah. But taking Triple H out the occasion.
Eesh.
Rusev is the next heel in line.
Yeah.
Because Kane and Big Show, I can't take them seriously. They're just mid-carders now.
The mid-carders, and they keep decking each other.
Yeah.
So are we expecting another
Kane and Big Show,
match?
see no evil.
Or are we expecting another Big Show turn?
Again.
You know, again.
The only person that changes more quicker than Big Show and Kane is Abyss.
Abyss has changed back and forth quite a bit, but he has actually stayed heel quite a long while this time.
I know, but when Hulk Hogan was there, he was heel one week, face the next week, heel the other week. Janice was pulling on his penis the week after, and...
I'm not even going... Folks, please do not look that up. For God's sake, do not look that up.
TNApulling.com.
Oh, good lord.
If any of you want to watch some hardcore porn, that might come under Janice.
That has just scarred me for life. Cheers for that.
You're welcome.
Oh.
So, this is brilliant. You should see his face, folks. It's brilliant. So for those of you that are unaware of what Janice is, it's a 2x4 with nails in.
Yeah, folks, now picture that what you just said.
So yeah.
Scary visual place.
So, that's what we've been missing, though. Well, not Janice, but solid character directions. Who's heel and who's face. The only person who's actually stayed face for long enough to know is John Cena, and the fans have turned him practically heel while he's still playing a face.
Well, mixed.
Yeah.
But then again, as some might say, we are in the realm of, if you're paying your ticket,
yeah,
you have the right to choose whoever you want cheer, whoever you want boo. And that is sort of right. In a way. But on the other hand, you've also got to take into account, are they portrayed themselves right? In Cena's case, I think they've tried to pull on a certain case too much. You know, he's become like, you know, the superhero. Now, there's an old saying, you know, that I've heard.
Yeah.
Which, I take it you already know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Mm.
Okay, would you guys finish it off, or...?
No, you can finish your own sentence off.
I'll let you finish it.
No, you do it.
In some cases, you can be the hero, but then there's, you know, you've got to have time to step back a little bit. Or you can stay Mr. Superhero for so long that you will eventually become the villain.
I'm Batman. Ladies and gentlemen, I've traded the bad boy British Wrestling in for Christian Bale.
I'm not Christian Bale.
For Christian Bale, who plays Batman, and Commissioner Gordon. Which one do you want to be?
Either.
And Alfred.
I'll go... No. Oof. I'll go with Christian Bale. He's a millionaire.
All of them are fucking millionaires. They've all done loads of movies and earned loads of fucking money. Especially Michael Caine. You know, you're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
True. No, I wasn't thinking about the actual. I wasn't thinking about the actual actor.
No, it's the line.
I was aiming more for the character, the Bruce Wayne, the Batman. But never mind. But the point being is that line.
If you play the hero long enough,
you will.
And you don't walk away, then you'll stay around to see yourself become the villain.
And the scary thing about this
is John Cena has.
This is true.
John Cena stayed around long enough to see him become the villain. But no, it's interesting. So just to step away from.
No, I've got to say this now. Quick question, folks. Has anybody ever seen John Cena in the back together? Food for thought.
Neither's Nicky Bella, but he did bring out his old retro tights the other day in his mask on Total Divas.
That he did.
And Nicky Bella was dripping like a fuck fridge.
I'm not even going to go there.
So moving on from John Cena and Rusev,
yeah.
What have you got coming up this week while we're slowly divulging through Raw?
Well, let's save that for a bit later, when there's a bit more space and time for it.
We've got all the space and time in the world. It's all a podcast.
True. But, I mean, at the moment in time, my brain of thought is on Raw.
ladies and gentlemen, he also can't multitask.
I'm
We're,
Bale.
we're learning a lot today. The bad boy of British wrestling can't multitask.
Whoa. Look up a TV show called Brain Games. I think that they're like...
We will look it up, but I'm just saying that Sonia Jackson next to him, he can't multitask.
No, it's not that. My brain's already... It's just already zoned in on a certain section of Raw.
So let's move on very quickly then. Because I don't want to spend the next 2 hours looking at Raw. God forbid.
Right, I'll break this down very quickly. Divas match. The whole setup with the Balors over... Oh, come on, Paige.
I was hoping we'd come to this, but you've given me about 5 minutes.
Why?
Because this is a ranting part. Right.
What? Are you going to rant or am I?
Oh, I'm ranting.
Go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, now this could take about 5 or 10 minutes, so if you don't want to listen to this, I'd suggest you skip this little bit.
Warning. The following is going to be a rant. Please be advised. If you do not want to listen to this, please skip ahead to about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even 15 if Matt Bennett joins in.
Right. So, what is Paige's gimmick?
Anti-diva.
Okay.
Whoa. No, that's what it was on NXT.
No, it still is the anti-diva gimmick. Because they haven't changed it, and it's even been noted on the fucking Total Divas.
Ugh.
Yes, that has ruined our wrestling community. So, right then, so her gimmick is the anti-diva.
And the anti-diva is on Total Divas.
Right, so, but that isn't what this rant's about.
No, we'll get to that another time.
This is just the forefront of the rant. So, they have 2 divas, Nick A divas.
Outfit.
Yeah.
Costume.
So the anti-diva goes and gets something that is more slutty than anything I think I've ever seen the anti-diva wear.
You think?
She couldn't keep the sleeves up. Whose idea in that booking team was it to go, you know what, Paige, we'll dress you up as a rosebud. You know, it'll be fun. You see that one there that's got like the biggest Cinderella skirts that comes down to your knees? You can have that on because it'll make you look a little bit like Daphne. Take that top, however, that one might be a bit too big for you, so don't bend down in it.
However, let me just point this out, for folks. If you look up on Mick Foley on his Facebook page, I believe his son started comparing Paige to a certain fairy that Mick Foley brought in. Is it Purple Maple? Something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, instead of having the anti-diva, try to borrow some diva's clothes.
Yeah.
Why not just have a go out there in some street clothes and kick the shit out of someone?
Which would be...
You've took me gear, fine. I'll stick a pair of jeans on, I'll stick a top on, and I'll go out there and I'll kick some ass.
Maybe because they didn't want her to be a gimmick infringement on Dean Ambrose.
It's the anti-diva. If she's gimmick infringement, she's nicking AJ Lee's gimmick.
I mean the little skip. And the rest.
So she's gone from an anti-diva to a sexual harassment diva to now a little skippy diva. You know, if you just wanted AJ Lee, just pay her a bit more money.
I will admit. Alright. That's what you're going to rant about.
I just don't... Like, that was poor writing. Why dress the anti-diva up a little bit more like a diva? Why not just send her out there in a pair of jeans and a vest top or a sports bra or something?
In all fairness, if she's going to be the anti-diva as she was on NXT, they should let her be herself. But for her to be herself, an anti-diva, she has to be a villain. She'd have to be a villain to do that. But you haven't got her in a villainous position. So she can't really fulfill the role of an anti-diva. An actual fact. Pardon me, folks.
Well, no, this comes back to the point that you made earlier. They tried to make her the anti-diva on the main roster.
Yeah.
But because she was actually quite cool and the rest of the divas division sucks ass, I won't say the other word, otherwise I get accused of being too fucking jumped up. So, because the rest of the other divas suck that much ass at times, apart from maybe Nikki Bella and Brie Bella.
Ooh, what's going on with you?
Well, Nikki Bella, great heel. She's annoying, great heel.
Agreed.
Brie Bella can wrestle if given the chance, but she's trying to get pregnant by Daniel, so fuck knows what's happening there. But Nikki, in all fairness,
she's putting the work in.
She's putting the work in, and it's showing. They had a great match on there, but they have clear direction. You know, Nikki did whatever it took to actually get the job done.
Yep. Well, which is great for a heel.
Yeah.
Great for a heel. Because just look at another heel who did that. Oh, as I've already mentioned him previously, the Rated R Superstar, Lita, was a good one. To heels, no matter how bad they are, to them, as long as they get what they want, the end justifies the means. As they might confront them more if anybody asks them. Would you care to continue?
Yeah, but like, if you want to play someone as a gimmick, give him that gimmick. If they can't do it, bring something else. But she got over because she had a gimmick and people connected to it. I do apologise, folks. I'm gassing off.
It's a bit of gas.
Yeah, so people have basically just gone and, you know, I like that gimmick, you know, she's pretty good, she can wrestle, she kicks ass, and, you know, she's got half a character. You know, say someone like, and as much as it pains me to say, because, you know, she can make a pretty good valet if given the time and effort put into her. Rosa Mendes. Rosa Mendes comes out and no one could give a shit. You know, when Candice Michelle came out, everyone gave a shit because they knew she was the go-daddy girl. When Ashley came out, what was she? Punk rocker chick. When Trish Stratus come out, greatest female wrestler to ever lace up a pair of boots since Mae Young and the Fabulous Moolah. When Lita come out, a luchador female.
Unique female who revolutionised the wrestling industry for women.
If Triple H has got any sense, he'd bring up Charlotte, he'd go make Mickie James a contract offer and tell her stay away from John Cena. Write it in the contract, if she goes anywhere near him, you fire her. You fire her. That's fine. Bring back Melina, who we're going to see. Yes! Yes!
I think you're happy over that.
Yeah, we're going to see Melina soon, so that should be happy days. But bring back the women that can wrestle. In all fairness, go to Michelle McCool and go, how much to get you wrestle 4 months a year? 4, 5, 6 months a year.
Yeah.
Name your number for a couple of years so we can build a division up and get it to reputation.
She's retired.
She can wrestle better than half the wrestlers on that roster at the moment.
But she wasn't the most likeable, supposedly.
She played a fucking good heel.
Oh, no. She played the good heel, but there was supposedly people in the back claiming she was only there because of one person, blah, blah, blah.
Well, she came in with Doug and Danny Basham.
No, I mean by the end.
It don't matter how she's there. Did she perform match after match?
Personally, this is where I have to say I feel sorry for Michelle McCool. As much as some people might say, why do I feel sorry for Triple H? The one thing I hate in wrestling is that they always assume whoever they're sleeping with, that they're getting their big push. So they're not actually considering that, you know, people aren't then considering that that person has actually got a natural talent. First thing that they come to, oh, Triple H is only wherever he is because he was dating Stephanie. Okay, it might have helped a little bit somehow. But the game would still be the game.
Yeah,
he
it was.
Still wrestles.
If you read Vince Russo's script, he said Triple H was still due that push, and he'd still probably be in the same position because he has a love for the business.
Yes, he does.
Now, shagging Stephanie gives him a huge hand. You know, it's a bit like, say, for example, Linda McMahon died, and I hope she doesn't. But Linda McMahon died, and Trish Stratus went with Vince. Vince pops his clogs, Trish is in charge. great wrestling mind. Yeah, but you've only got that because you're a...
Yeah, that's what I'm on about.
Yeah,
But,
like, so some of these people deserve the places, you know. You get where you want in life by doing things. If in Triple H's case it leads to the love of his life and a top job in WWE, you know, well done, Hunter. You know, Paul, fair play.
Yeah, but the point being is, this is what I'm on about. A lot of people always say, you only got there because of this, you know, you're with her, you're this, you're that. I'm not being funny or anything, but Triple H would still be where he is right now. However, he might not be at the level that he is right now as soon, but he'd get there.
Yeah, and in all fairness to Triple H, fair play. You took a plunge, you went for it, because Vince could have easily just kicked you out the door.
And fired you.
Yeah, but he didn't. He stood by you, you know. You may have got an extra couple of title reigns out of it, but during
maybe not.
No, but during the main part of the Ruthless Aggression era, you named the biggest deal.
Triple H. Definitely my man. The Generation X.
No, the Ruthless Aggression era. It was Triple H and Evolution.
Yeah. Triple H has been a very marketable wrestler. And a lot of people keep thinking, oh, he's only there because I was Stephanie McMahon. Listen, folks, sorry to say this coming from the wrestler himself, natural charisma always peers through. Natural talent always peers through. Regardless of, if he still stays Stephanie, regardless of the fact, if anything, that probably made him better because he's probably got more pressure on him. Because bear in mind, he's going to step up his game because he's now being watched more carefully.
Yeah.
With an eye.
So it's one of them. So it's, you know, like that respect of it. Like, but if you're going to build the Divas roster, I'd build it around people like Candice Michelle, like just as I can do. You know, wrestling wasn't the best, but fans recognised it. The problem with women now is they don't recognise half of them because they're all just cookie cutters. They all come from the same sort of background. So you've got a few different ones. You've got Paige, you've got the Ballas, but the rest of them just either mix in with Paige or the Ballas. Give them their own direction. Paige, Nikki Bella, Lita, if she was still able to wrestle, which I don't know if she is or isn't.
Oh, I've seen her.
Yeah. I'd have Candice Michelle on there, Michelle McCool, bring Mickey James in, Victoria from time to time, and Awesome Kong.
Layla?
Her knees are giving on her at the moment. But I'd bring Awesome Kong, bring Velvet Sky in. You want someone that the fans all love, just bring Velvet Sky in. Offer a number.
By the way, folks,
it'll be better than anything on Impact that they offer.
Let me just point this out, WWE. Velvet Sky is a free agent.
So Samoa Joe.
And Samoa Joe, yeah, I know all about it.
Could we see Samoa Joe versus Kevin Steen in a NXT ring soon?
Potentially.
Followed by the chance of Joe's gonna kill you.
But will they call him Joe?
The fans will.
Oh, if Joe went over there,
it'd be a Joe's gonna kill
Joe
you.
It's got to be in his
Let's
name.
Go, Steen. Joe's gonna kill you.
Let's go, Owen.
Yeah, it'd just be like a Julian chant. Like that would be that is an internet wrestling fan's wet dream. If it was about 5 or 10 years ago.
Well, bear that in mind, the internet managed to get an international feud on WWE.
Yeah.
But not on the mainstream, on NXT. Have you seen it?
NXT's going to be its own touring brand soon.
Should be.
You know, by end of 2015, it should be its own touring brand.
Did you see NXT Rival?
Yeah, but, and I agree with this, some of the talents on that roster won't relate to the main things.
No, they don't.
But a brand like that, WWE can make some serious money off a brand like that. You know, you don't go to the 15, 16,000 arenas. Go to your Manhattan ballrooms.
Yeah.
Go to your, like...
This is sort of very clever, I think, because you've got your mainstream for your world, you know, your big, you know, for certain fans that want what to be considered to be the norm. Then you got NXT, which is nitty, gritty,
Yeah.
bit of attitude.
But if Triple H is smart, he won't put him in 15, 16,000 arenas. He'll stick him in the, 3,500 arenas, get the passionate fans in there, and make it.
And it will be brilliant.
Yeah, but like if I was marketing NXT now, I won't be going. I'll be. How much can we milk this?
Problem is with that is, do you want the wrestlers to be there to make it big, or just to make the money?
Well, you're going to have certain talents that are never going to relate to the main roster.
True.
So, say for example, and it pains me to say this, Adam Rose.
Oh.
That gimmick does not relate to the main roster.
Not really.
You stick it in front of an NXT crowd, and all you hear is do whoa, na 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 na.
They changed him now.
Yeah.
They tarnished it.
But in NXT, that'll get back over. And people like Rhino, do you really think Rhino wants to go back on 16, 17,000?
True. Wait, hang on. Speaking of Rhino, where was he this week?
He was at NXT.
Yeah.
But do you think Rhino would want to just... Rhino at the moment, I think he's happy helping the people translate. Yeah. But you've got people like that. But people like Steen are destined and Sami Zayn.
Oh.
But is Corey Greaves, Bo Dallas.
Corey Greaves is not wrestling anymore.
No, but people like him. Like he might get to the main roster as a commentator, but would he have made it as a wrestler?
Potentially, if he didn't get so many concussions, potentially. But here's the thing: people are always going to doubt.
Yeah, Bo Dallas isn't related.
It isn't, but doesn't need to be.
No, and then
because he brings a natural hatred.
And then people like Emma.
Oof.
Emma didn't help herself, but that gimmick wasn't going over.
It didn't exactly help itself.
Yeah, but she wasn't going to get over with that gimmick. You can look at me until you're red in the face trying to explain that gimmick, but that gimmick was not getting over.
No, well, I'm not even going to explain it. Now, bear this in mind, this coming from a guy who had feather boas, shiny hats, flashing glasses, knows how to pop and lock in the middle of a match. And I've seen that, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the hell? It wasn't going to get over.
Fandango got over here because we're a party nation.
What'd you expect?
But Fandango get over in America constantly. Small arenas, yes.
Big arenas? No.
Not so much.
Oh, speaking of Fandango, did you know he's a face?
Is he?
Yeah, he's a face now. When he was up against Adam Rose.
Right.
He started acting more like a crowd pleaser.
Okay.
Cheering up the crowd. Really?
He should be. But if they're going to turn him face, bring back the proper music. If these writers had half a brain, that's all wrestling needs.
Oh God, good Lord, cheers for that. You just reminded me of a funny mistake in the past. Cheers for that.
All wrestling needs is half a common sense and someone with the finger on the pulse.
Correct, but true. You're not always going to get the pulse. As it was said on the podcast, Steve Austin podcast with Triple H. He said sometimes you can get the pulse, but once you've got it, you've got to sort of ride it, and sometimes you can lose it.
Yeah.
But then you have to self-adjust and get back onto the pulse, and ride it until you get it right. You're not always going to get it right first time.
No.
You're not always going to get it right second time. Sometimes it can take a while. But here's the thing. If you adjust yourself in such a way where you get it right, then people could say, they're just riding this out too much. So what? They've earned it. They've had to work hard to get that pulse. Yeah. They've had to work hard. Anything you'd like to add to that?
There's isn't much that I can add to it, but they just need to keep like the finger on the pulse. But if things aren't working, stick them in a place where they will work.
Yeah.
You know, like the Ascension gimmick. And I'm surprised. I thought that would have got over.
Yeah, it would have. It would have. Problem was, they did one thing. Well,
They
correction.
compared them to the Road Warriors.
Correction. It wasn't just that. They compared them to the Road Warriors. Okay, they can do that. Problem was, first night they debuted, had some legends debuting against a heel team. That's not going to get mixed reviews. And then to get heat, to try and get them to be villains, all he did was have them beat down on smaller guys and then have them proclaim, we are the greatest tag teams. We are better than the Road Warriors. Blah, blah, blah. Yakety, smackety. Sorry, but that's just dull.
Yeah.
It's dull, it's boring. We are not entertained. How are they meant to get over as a match feel? What they should have done is had them come out. Personally, I think they should have been with Bray Wyatt.
I can't argue that, but it's just different points.
Yeah. Not everyone's always going to please everybody. It's true. Everything okay?
Yeah.
Would you like to add anything?
No, so what else did you think of Raw, and then we'll move on for...
Well, Seth Rollins. Sorry about the cough, folks. Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Ziggler.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Quality matches.
Quality. Brilliant matches. They know
Yeah.
what they're doing. And they get the job done. Entertainment factor. Boom. There. Main event. Spot. They seem to be with the Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. Let them up. Let's see them bicker with each other. Everyone knew that they were going to have a brawl. Everyone knew.
Yeah.
Because they've got to develop the hatred. I just think personally, what they could have done is to get that natural reaction from Roman Reigns and the beaded one, is if by accident one of the other one hit the other one by accident.
Yeah. It was a brutal fight, though.
Oh, brutal fight, yeah, brutal. But if something instigated it properly,
Yeah.
okay, you could say, and this is where I argue, why would Roman Reigns give up his spot that he supposedly earned by going to 29 other men to get to WrestleMania, and then Daniel Bryan come in, oh, I've been away, I didn't win the Royal Rumble, but guess what, I'm coming for the spot.
Yeah, it's just stupid at times, and I do wonder. I'm just trying to find out what the betting odds are for this weekend. For Fastlane, because it's Fastlane on Sunday, isn't it?
Yep.
So at the moment, I'm just trying to surf through, see if any of the betting odds have been put up.
Oh, so I was just about to ask, do you have any predictions?
Well, we're going to go through them in a minute. So, do you want to talk about United Wrestling?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'll try to find the betting odds for Sunday.
You find the betting odds, and I shall continue on and persevere with United Wrestling. But chime in if you if you want to add anything. Now, next Friday, I believe, is Friday the 27th of February. At the Sutherland's Beds, at Sutherland's Community Project, aka Beds, there, on Sutherland Road, Longton, Stoke-on-Trent, ST3 1JB, there is an event called Proving Grounds. Whoa!
Go on, Mick Foley. ST3 1JB. Hey!
Bang! Yes, I get you. You're referencing the comments I've had in the past. Well, anyway, here it is, folks, as it is. First match announced, of course, would be one of the big matches that was sort of highlighted from the last show, because the winner of the last show's Rumble would get a title shot against the Celtic champion, which is Squirt. Now, as you may know, Squirt is not just a single champion; he's a double champion now. And to get that title, he teamed up with Stevie Mitchell to take on a very, very, very quality tag team. What would you say?
Yeah.
Quality?
Yeah.
You've got Scott Scarlett. You've got Jack Union. And what does that make?
The quintessential Union.
And on this night, the quintessential Union decided, don't know why, even though they put the title on the line, they were challenged that if they lost, that they were split up as well. They accepted, and unfortunately on the night, lost, so we had to say good farewell to a wonderful tag team. I was quite deeply saddened by it, if I'm honest with you. However, Scott has got his chance now at redemption, at revenge at Squirt, because he is now currently the number one contender by literally winning the Highway to Hell Rumble match. So there you have it, folks. You've got Scott Scarlett versus the Celtic champion Squirt. Next match announced: Tommy Taylor versus Stevie Mitchell. Anything you'd like to add to that?
No, I'll let you talk around. I'm just trying to get all these down.
Me personally, I think Tommy Taylor will teach Stevie Mitchell a bit of a lesson. However, as I've stated before, don't underestimate Stevie Mitchell. He can always get that little devious win. But Tommy Taylor lately has been on his A game. He had a loss at the last show, but then again, taking into account who was he up against, he was up against the current Barricade.
He was going for it. He was going for his Paul Heyman moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the advocate for the 1 and the 21 and 1. You know, and here is your reigning, defending, undisputed World Heavyweight Champion, the Beast Incarnate, the Eater.
Well, stop where you are. No, I wasn't going to go that far. But he showed he can stand on his 2 legs. Now, I'm going to give support to Tommy, because I believe he works hard. He always does his best, and I think if you take Stevie Mitchell very serious, I think he could come out on top on this one. Next up, we have got the Royalist, Brett Ryan, against a returning Gabriel Kidd. You with us?
Yeah,
It's alright. I'm just asking for a bit of feedback. That's all.
I'm just trying. I'm just trying to add up.
Come on.
So I'm doing some research here. You know, bear with me. You know, I don't interrupt you and you and your dude and your dudettes.
Calm down. Oh, we'll get on to that a bit later. Well, anyway, as we know, I have faced Brett Ryan before. He's hungry. He wants a win. And at the last show, in the Rumble match, he thought, I can do whatever I want. When Gabriel Kidd came in, he feels Gabriel Kidd disrespected him and everything, and he didn't like that. So he supposedly, personally, actually requested this match. So, bear this in mind, Brett. You 2 ways this can work out. This is either going to be really fun for you, you do whatever you think you can get away with, or this could highly come back and bite you. You've heard the old saying, be careful what you wish for, you might just get it.
Yeah.
In this case, you just might get it. Now, here's the thing. Who do you think will win this?
Which match is it?
Brett Ryan's versus Gabriel Kidd.
Gabriel Kidd.
You think Gabriel Kidd? I think so too. But as I've said, you've got to be careful. Gabriel Kid's only returning, and Brett's been around. He's been on the United wrestling scene for a bit now. He's tough, and he's hungry for ultimate respect from Gabriel Kidd and the crowd. In fact, he's so desperate, and I mean desperate for respect. He'll even go as far as plea, to go to your knees. Now, that out of the way. Next match, and I believe this one will be mine. We've got myself against your favourite, Charles Kelsey.
Should be a good match, folks.
Now, some of you may or may not know, this match has already happened. This match has happened at United, but this one on another night and whatnot. Now, bear this in mind, folks, I did come out the winner of the match. But, as I've stated on Facebook, if anybody does read my page, as my colleague will know and back me up on this, was I very bruised?
Yes.
Did I seem well?
Yeah.
I was literally to the point where it's like, yeah, I'm bandaged up, and if I recall, did we miss a week of the podcast due to it?
Mm.
So there you have it, folks. He's not a light hitter. However, the one thing I will say though is I couldn't get the ringing out my ears, and that wasn't from anything that happened in the match. That was just from Kelsey shouting. What? Tell me, come on. He isn't quiet. So my target is to finally put him up. Literally shut him up, silence him once and for all. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think I'll I'll make him silent?
Mm.
Or as some people have actually turned around and said, could he knock the rhythm out of me? Which one do you think it'll be?
He might knock the rhythm out of you.
You think?
Yeah.
So you think Kelsey will get the win?
Potentially, mate. The thing is, and people don't need to underestimate Kelsey because he is a fierce competitor.
Well, I can actually back that one up.
If you underestimate the man, he's deadly, and you don't know who or what comes with him.
Oh yeah, actually yeah, because last time he was alone, and there's rumours that I'm going to be on extra watch, aren't I?
You're going to have to be.
Tommy, can I ask for a bit of assistance just in case? just in case. But I think this is going to be a fun match, and I'm hoping that the results will possibly go the way it did last time. But here's the thing, as I stated already, this is going to be a whole new playing field, and basically, there's only one way you can catch this. Simply, be there. So anyway, now that's all the matches that have been officially announced for United Wrestling. Is there anything you'd like to add to it, or shall we move on to predictions?
We'll move on to predictions. Are we doing them for United or are we doing them for WWE?
We were doing some for United, but we'll do the full lot for United now.
Okay, so
the only one I can't do
this is home.
Is my own match, which is, to be fair,
because he'd have back himself.
Of course.
So Scott to lose to Squirt.
Oh. You think Squirt will keep the title?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be fair, but I reckon he'll keep his title.
I don't know. I think Scott might take it because bear this in mind, he's now angry. He's furious. He's going to be gunning for Squirt because he split him up with one of his best, one of his closest friends and tag team partners, and took his tag team titles.
Yeah. depending if a certain person's at ringside. If he isn't, you to beat Kelsey. If he is at ringside, then I'll have Kelsey. Stevie Mitchell
So
to lose.
hang on, repeat that. So you think Kelsey's going to win no matter what?
No, if it's a one-on-one fight, I reckon you might win.
Might.
Yeah. If anyone's at ringside, you'll lose.
Right.
I'll have Stevie Mitchell to lose.
Oh, you think Tommy Taylor?
Yeah.
I'll back that one up.
I reckon Gabriel Kidd will win, and then we haven't had the last match yet, have we?
No, I believe not.
So yeah, if it's got Barricade in, I'll have Barricade to win. Moving on. It's interesting reading. William Miller put that price out, yeah. So I've had to go off what Sky Bet's prices are. There won't be too much difference in it. This is for Fastlane, not United Wrestling, by the way, folks.
Right. Official WWE.
Yeah, two bets that I've seen that are quite interesting.
Yeah.
One of them which shouldn't come in. It's just shy of 3-1 if all the favourites win. If you had them in a fivefold.
What would that be?
So that'd be Roman Reigns to beat Bryan.
Right.
Nikki Bella to beat Paige.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose to beat Bad News Barrett. The Usos to beat Kidd and Cesaro. And Rusev to beat John Cena. Stardust and Goldust isn't on there. What is an interesting bet, and it isn't too far out of the ordinary, and it comes in just outside 16, and that's at 16-1. And with all the build-ups been, one of them will win their match.
At least one. At least one of them will win.
But if you've got a spare couple of quid fluttering around,
you never
a couple
know.
of quid just short of 16-1.
You never know.
It makes an interesting bet.
But we're not. Just so you know, folks, we are not actually condoning betting and whatnot.
No.
So this is your choice. This is us just saying. Well, my colleague saying what the betting odds are.
Yeah. This is just me just spitballing something. Like it'd be quite interesting if you do look at the betting market, which I do. I enjoy having a look at it and comparing things and having a look if there are any good deals.
A bit of an analysis.
Yeah, but that Paige and Daniel Bryan, it looks like a nice little bet. I don't think it'll stay like that.
No.
But if I was having £1 on an accumulator,
right,
I would probably go Daniel Bryan to win.
Ooh.
Nikki Bella to win.
Right.
Dean Ambrose over Bad News Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take the Rusev one out.
Ooh.
And I'd probably have Tyson Kidd and Cesaro to beat the Usos.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And that'd come in just probably shy of about 20-1.
Me personally, out of all the matches, I would go Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Usos and Rusev.
Okay, so we'll do our predictions now on the 6 matches.
Well, you've just heard 5 of mine.
Yeah, well, that's my analogy thingy. I thought it'd be interesting if any of you, because I have talked about the betting on them before, but I normally do the American markets. It's nice I've actually done the English markets for once. So that's fine. So if you want to flutter at that, there are recommendations. We take no responsibility.
The one match that we missed off
was Stardust. Yeah, but I'll go through mine properly because I didn't put John Cena in. So I'd have Daniel Bryan to beat Roman Reigns.
I think Roman will take that.
Nikki Bella to beat Paige.
Yep.
I'll have Kidd and Cesaro to beat the Usos.
Usos to defend.
What was the other match on there? Dean Ambrose versus BMB.
Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Rusev.
Gonna go count out.
Rusev, count out.
No. Double count out.
Oh, you think draw?
Yeah, it won't be clean. So John Cena will either win by disqualification or it'll be a count out.
Oh. So he's going for the dark horse, the outside bet.
So that match, I reckon, will end in interference. There won't be a clean winner. So I'm not going to pick one there. What I'm going to say is it doesn't end clean.
Yeah. But, come on, you got to pick a side.
If I was going to pick a side...
As much as I will admit, I would prefer to pick Cena, but Rusev will take the win.
If I was going to pick a side, so the feud can carry on, Rusev to win by disqualification.
Rusev to win.
No, John Cena to win by disqualification. On there.
I'll go with Rusev.
But it'll end dirty.
Yeah.
And...
it won't be clean.
Stardust to beat Goldust.
Yeah. Stardust to beat Goldust, yeah.
So, we will have a winner this time, because we've only picked 3 matches. For those of you that are unaware, we've drawn one, and I've won one. And I won 20 quid off him last time.
I will curse you. I will curse you.
You know, someone bet me 20 quid that Brock Lesnar wouldn't walk away from the Royal Rumble. Your World Heavyweight Champion.
Now bear this in mind, folks. There was a good chance of this because rumours were going round and there was talk that his WrestleMania contract is up right after WrestleMania. Now, WWE can be quite protective of their product, can't they?
They can.
And in this case, they're going on the gamble. But you can see why I took the bet though, can't you?
Yeah.
Unfortunately...
Are we having a gentleman's wager this time?
Let's see what... Go on.
Drinks at the next podcast?
Deal.
So it says, folks, drinks at the next podcast that... I'll even let you pick the match.
I don't.
Go on. You can pick your match.
The only problem is it's got to be a match that we haven't...
Yeah, so you've got 3 matches to pick from.
3 matches. Do you know what the matches were?
The tag team match.
Yeah.
Which was Usos and Kid and Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns.
Let's go big.
He's sticking it on the main event of WrestleMania.
Let's go big. Let's go for WrestleMania. Roman Reigns. 2 defeats. Daniel Bryan and face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Okay, you're on. So, drinks at the next show says Daniel Bryan wins.
Nah. Yes. Nah. There's mine. Roman Reigns hasn't have tapped.
Pardon?
Roman Reigns hasn't tapped out to Bryan, has he?
Not yet. Wait till Sunday. He's going to tap that ass.
He is not going to tap. He's just going to go, whoo, and spear through him.
He isn't. Main event of WrestleMania will be a triple threat again.
Oh. True. So, are you trying to use a loophole here?
What?
On me?
I'm not using no loophole
yes,
on
you
you.
are.
Oh.
Right.
Right.
The bet is I am saying Roman will beat Daniel Bryan.
And I'm telling you that Daniel Bryan will beat Roman Reigns.
That's the bet.
Yeah. But I'm also telling you that at WrestleMania...
What's going to happen if it's a draw?
Then no one wins.
That's fine.
Okay, if you want. If that match draws...
We split it.
We'll go on the John Cena Rusev.
Yeah, as an alternative.
And if that one draws, then we'll go on the tag team match.
Christ, if there is 2 draws, I will be seriously questioning why the hell we didn't bet on the lottery.
If it's 2 draws...
That's it, I'm betting on the lottery now because I just said that.
Right then, yeah, but if that one don't come in, we'll go on the tag team match. And if that ends in a bullshit finish, then we'll split the bill.
Split the bill? I think if we went through 3 triple draws, I would consider paying for the drinks just for the amazing fact that there were 3 draws on a pay-per-view. I will say that now. If there's 3 draws out of them 3 matches that we disagree upon, if there's 3 draws, I will still pay for the drinks. Only if there's 3 draws, not 2.
Again, folks, you've heard that. You are witness to this. It is a verbally bound contract.
I'll even shake hands up with you right now.
It's fine. It's a verbally binding contract. I have it on recording. All shows are recorded for training and competency purposes. So yeah, so that's Fastlane. WrestleMania seems to be shaping a little bit different than we thought. Some of the matches are still there,
but there is some twists.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with that Fatal 4-Way. Some reason though, I can see JBL going against the Ascension at WrestleMania.
Oh, that would be a markout moment.
But
where?
But
and who?
Is Ron Simmons fit?
Not what I know of.
Why did he retire?
Don't know.
If anyone knows, actually, why is Ron Simmons not an active wrestler anymore? Answered on a postcard.
On a postcard? Come on. They can get better in touch with us than that.
Okay, answers to us on Facebook.
Facebook, Twitter, you name it. You decide.
But we want to know why Ron Simmons hasn't done anything physical.
It's probably because he's got too many injuries.
But
injuries can...
I know, but why bring him out there then?
FaceTime. Butts on seats. Hogan can't wrestle. That's mine. He's got
but Hogan can talk. Hogan says more than, damn!
But he got it over.
Yeah, that's fine. Backstage in the skits.
Whoa. You're on about Hogan. Mr. Brother.
Yeah, but he also says, eat your prayers. Not eat your prayers. Eat your vitamins, drink your milk, say your prayers.
For somebody who's meant to be a massive fan of wrestling, just completely bodged up the Hogan speech.
God, Hogan bored me.
What were you, Flair or Savage? Or Warrior?
I was a Shawn Michaels person. You keep on forgetting I wasn't born in the 80s.
True.
I am a 90s child. You know, mine was going around going, let's get ready to suck it in. And for the thousands in attendance.
Watching around the globe.
And the millions watching at home. You know, I was watching Undertaker crucify young women.
Whoa. I will say this. I am so surprised Michael Buffer has not literally tried to sue WWE or Triple H. But even though, it's either that or Michael Buffer has let it slide because he does such a good impersonation of him.
You know, but didn't he used to do the main events at
WCW?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
And he also did, like, and in all fairness, he is probably one of the greatest ring announcers.
Oh, he's...
An interesting story.
Potentially, if you think about it, it's probably through marketing channels and whatnot that they probably got him. But if you notice though, they only got him through for the big matches, the big battles. However, can you name me one massive mess up that WCW did to do, especially with TV time on pay-per-view, that angered a lot of fans?
Yeah, David Arquette being on any pay-per-view as world champion.
Before that.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan trying to book himself in every main event.
Ready for this one? Do you remember watching DDP versus Goldberg live?
No.
Why?
Because it wasn't live.
Why did it not? Why was it not live? It was for about 3 minutes.
Because the cameras cut out for a break, didn't they?
No, they overshot.
So it was a dark match.
So basically, people were hyped up to watch this match, and because other matches overstepped the line, that match got literally cut off the air because the show overran.
How pissed off would you be if you were Bill Goldberg?
How pissed off would you be if you just paid X amount of dollars?
How much did that refund the fans back?
They didn't. They did before the fans are back. It gets worse.
They put it on Nitro for free the next night.
Correct. Yeah. Unedited as well. Need I say more?
No.
Did you not know that? Did you not know that?
No.
In case you want to know where I learnt this information, the WWE Network.
It's just an interesting...
That's an interesting fact.
Yeah.
Now, timing on that, oh good lord. It's just bad. It's bad. The match itself, good match. It's a good watch. It's a very good watch. But I just couldn't believe it. I just could not believe that people, you know. And I'll quote somebody on this. He used to be on Planet Funk. You know where I'm going there with this.
A little bit of Brodus.
Yeah?
Or Titus.
He literally, because at the time, he wasn't, as he said, he grew up in a house that wasn't very rich. He just paused, turned round, "Hey Ma, please tell you paying for the electric bill." He thought his mother had skipped on the electric bill. And that was why it went off. And unfortunately, that was not the case. It was just some bad timing on a certain company's benefit.
Yeah. But going back to Michael Buffer as an announcer,
Yeah.
you know, he gets the big fights over. Like, if you watch boxing's, the last one when he did the Dr. Steel Hammer, oh my God, him and Dave, the way he introduced Vladimir Klitschko,
Yeah.
that is brilliant.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. He knows exactly. Because bear this in mind, did you ever hear some of the matches he called? Like when he was doing Bret Hart, you know, Goldberg,
Yeah.
Hollywood, Hulk, Hogan. He knows exactly how to pronounce a name in such a way it makes it that special moment.
Yeah, like the closest thing to him was Howard Finkel.
But the problem with the thing, he's now just mostly WrestleMania, you know.
Yeah. But is there anything else you want to cover this episode? No, we ran off on the roller coaster of tangents.
Right. Shall we think of a subject quickly, so we can either rant or not, or shall we save that for another podcast? Because we have been going on for an hour and 6 minutes.
I'll leave that up to you. You know, we've got 2 episodes to cover. This one's been a little bit of a runaway tangent.
A little bit, but well, this isn't a double episode. This is just because we are going to bring up the old episode and show this. This, you know. But I will say one thing. Mistakes on the global scale recently. Can you think of any top mistakes that they've made recently?
Ew.
Any company?
Yeah.
What?
WWE not having Sting in the build up to Fastlane. Why have the impersonators? Why not? I know this sounds dodgy, but shout back to the old WCW. Why not have him on top, strapped down in a harness so we can't fall and we don't see another Owen Hart, but just pointing the bat at Triple H?
Instead, it just felt cheap.
No, it didn't.
No. It had the atmosphere, but put it on the screen. It's like, has he not just turned up because you couldn't afford him? It's got that feel, hasn't it?
No, because Vince says he wants to keep the appearances special. Now, you can keep the appearances special when they're doing every week, still. You just...
I think okay?
Yeah. Like, you just want to, like, mash it up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. Or when they had the light at the stage, on the stairwell, you could have had the bat there.
Yeah.
Just pointing. With a mic. I accept. Done. But
Or have him with the mic, I accept, and have the bat point up at the WrestleMania.
yeah, Either one would have worked. But they didn't want to do that. They wanted to have the talk down, didn't they? They're going to have the talk. Not,
See,
in all fairness, this isn't a match. This is just a talk. The match is going to be at WrestleMania.
I know, but like you can still do the build and have Sting talk. Like in the build up. You know, like you could have him where Triple H tries to run down the lights. Like,
Yeah.
but in all fairness, if Undertaker isn't going to be this WrestleMania season,
Yep.
then Sting could do all the theatrics.
The atmosphere.
Yeah, you know.
He could bring that dark, edgy feel. But then again, Bray could do that.
Yeah, but Sting would.
Sting's already at that level.
Yeah.
Sting's already there. However, there is one bonus of having a imposter in the ring with Triple H. My God, Triple H knows how to sell.
Yeah, but imagine how much better that would have been with Sting.
Yeah, it would have made way more sense.
Like on the board, just him, I accept. Lights come back up, and he's there, got the bat to the back of Triple H's head.
No, literally, turns round, it's actually Sting, he hits the deck, smiles, lights go out, Sting's gone.
Yeah, or he could have the I accept, and he just puts the bat in the ring.
Oh, yeah, that would just be, But they didn't. They didn't do that. Maybe they want to give more showtime for somebody else. Which is what it seemed to be. Any other mistakes?
The costume on for Paige, that annoyed me.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about.
I think
we haven't talked about the Otis Tag Team reunion this year.
we'll get back to that.
Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars.
You're on about the primetime players. They're just going to be fed to them. That would be it.
Well, could you imagine a match between the primetime players and
The Ascension.
No, and Crown Time? Money, millions of dollars. Money, millions of dollars. Money, millions of dollars.
Whoa. Against each other.
Yeah.
I see a faction. I see a faction there.
We are the nation.
The Money Nation.
It could be the nation of domination.
No,
3.0.
And we are the nation of money nation. Millions of dollars, money. Yeah. That would be. I did love that, but I doubt JTG will be back anytime soon. Especially for the comments he's mentioned about Vincent McMahon and whatnot. Have you not heard about that?
No.
How do I say this? He declared Vincent McMahon not with it. He doesn't get the crowd.
Well, JTG should be thankful that Vince forgot about him. You were on close. You must have been on 6 figures for sitting on your ass.
6 months for sitting on your ass.
It wasn't 6 months. More like 6 years.
Yeah, and all you had to do, and the funny thing about it was, and the only reason why he got fired was for picking up his phone. God damn it! I bet you he probably realised the second he answered that phone call, I'm getting fired. They know I'm around. It's going to happen, wasn't it?
Yeah, he should have left his phone at home.
Now, can you imagine if he didn't answer that phone? Would he still be hired?
Yeah.
Potentially. Now, here's one mistake, and this isn't a WWE mistake. This is a TNA mistake.
Go on.
How stupid are you, TNA?
Playing Velvet Scargo.
For letting Velvet Sky go.
And Samoa Joe.
And Samoa
That's
Joe.
a part of one of your biggest stables. You put him in the beatdown clan.
You got him in the beatdown clan. He's in one of the major, top, absolute major angles, and he's gone. So basically, when we see him now, this week on TV, yeah, Joe, he still wrestles for us. We now definitely know it's taped, it's recorded, because Joe's gone. Now, TNA. Now, there's a fact. WWE now could do a WCW moment on you.
Yeah.
They, on their screen, Why, you're still on the TNA show?
Yeah. Don't have a no-compete clause. Mind you, TNA films that far in advance. It wouldn't fucking matter anyway. That's the one thing TNA does wrong.
Massively.
Why film 18 weeks and it feels like 18 weeks? It's about 7.
And do you know who the champions are right now?
Bobby Lashley.
Nope.
Kurt Angle.
Yep.
Did he win the title?
Yep.
Okay, so Kurt Angle.
Well, that's not... Oh, sorry, folks. Spoiler alert!
Rockstar Spud.
X Division.
Because I spoiled that last week.
Yeah. Curse you.
That's an episode spoiler alert for us as well. If you watch this one before... If you listen to this one before last week's. And Parental.
I actually don't know about the Divas.
They're not Divas, they're knockouts.
Okay, the knockouts. I don't know about the knockouts.
And you call yourself a wrestling fan. You want a wrist lock from a wristwatch.
That sounded just brutal, just hearing that line from you. Listen, you can't tell the difference between a hammerlock and a ham sandwich.
I can. One of them tastes out, the other one just looks like a shit old.
Oh. But you still can't do it.
Bet you can.
Bet you can't. Leave me, I'm alone.
Remember who dropped outside of a takeaway?
Oh yeah, for a title that doesn't exist anymore.
Well, what's this here?
That's a toy replica. That is a toy replica. That does not
It's
count.
still real to me, damn it!
Yeah, say that to my chin and my teeth that almost came out my jaw.
I even had a ref.
Yeah, to tell you, it's their defunct title.
He still counted to 3.
Oh, of course he's still going to count him to 3. You paid the man.
Didn't pay him.
Yeah, she did.
No, I didn't. The bar paid him. We just thought it'd be funny watching you get RKO'd.
Funny. But bear this in mind, you did catch me off the guard. And by the way, folks, this was before the whole out of nowhere business. So we could have made history. Maybe.
We could have.
Maybe.
What else? Yeah. But TNA's biggest problem, and this, I've ranted about it before, so go back and listen to this, or that other podcast that shall not be named that we did. And you'll hear me rant about it, the biggest problem they've got is...
Advanced recordings.
Yeah, because anyone
kills
can
them.
leave. Like we said, what happens if one of these stars gets injured or leaves? And Samoa Joe's just proved this right. He could turn up on Ring of Honor the next week.
While he's still on TNA.
Yeah.
So who's benefiting there?
Ring of Honor.
They've got him live. They've got him live where it's very poor. It's poor quality, I think, in that sense. However, there is one thing I mean that does make me laugh. Okay, JTG said Vince McMahon in a comment that he is out of reality. He's not with the current events. Of course he isn't. But then again, we love him for that. If it wasn't for Vince being that way, and my colleague will now remember a certain line he mentioned on a former podcast episode, we wouldn't have had the classic gimme 5 male cheerleaders and what?
I'll make them look fucking gay.
We will never have... Can you see that guy there? I'm going to make that guy Italian.
You see that guy? The one that's Canadian? Bring him over here. We're going to turn him fucking Italian. And we're going to make him look like the Italian stallion. We're going to make him into the Milan Miracle. All we've done is make him into a fucking joke.
Yeah. Now, if Vince was within reality, would he have done these insane stuff?
No, because Santino can actually wrestle.
Santino can wrestle, But would we have had such lovable memories of Santino?
We might have better memories. Santino might have won the Elimination Chamber.
Doubtful. Doubtful. But Santino is remembered because he's lovable.
Son of my gun!
Son of a gun. Oh, and them pronunciations, they always crack me up. They always crack me up.
Who did they put him with? Vladimir Kozlov. Another person they fucking ruined.
Oh, good lord.
Could you imagine Kozlov and Rusev
He's
together?
gone now, hasn't he?
Yeah, but could you imagine Kozlov and Rusev being managed by Lorna?
So, I stop where you are, Carl, please. Not Carl. Carl, stop where you are. Don't you dare interrupt our podcast. What's up with you?
I thought I kicked you out of the fucking office.
No, he's trying to keep back in. Get out of the office, Kyle. Anyway, back into touch. Good lord, good lord.
Back to your regular scheduled
Right.
programme.
As Solomon Crowe has said on NXT. Right, back onto form. As you just said, that would be a devastating thing. Rusev is dating Lana. That just sounds... I'm not saying any more. That's just... I'm around you. I'm around you too much, aren't I?
I was wondering why the accolade was looking a bit more postured.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything.
I wonder what grades you give him for that.
Crash.
Smash!
Smash. Put it.
Put it in! It's Alexander Put it in.
Oh.
What do you mean put it in? It's Putin. No, put it in.
Do you want it backwards or forwards?
Go on, Lorna. Off of her.
I'm not saying anything there now.
Right then, but that's us done for this week, I think.
I think that's us done, yeah. Because...
On that note,
and on
we've just offended the Russians.
Right. I think we have, haven't we? Yeah. Uh-oh. And what makes it worse is you're not the one who instigated it.
No.
Whoops.
Never mind. Right then. So, I've been Nathan Goff.
Right, and to quote a great man of the UK, because I'm pretty sure that we're probably going to get bombed by the Russians now. And on that bombshell, it's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me. It's a goodbye from Kyle.
Get out of the office!
See you later, folks.
See you later, folks, and remember, check out your local wrestling.